Hello, am I audible enough? Hello. Yeah, okay. So, before we begin, let's start with a simple question. So, since the workshop is about sleep and sleep hygiene, um, how was your sleep last night? If you have to rate it from 1 to 10, where 1 is didn't sleep and 10 is you have deeply slept, so what number would you give it? You can mention it in the chat box. Hello. Hello. Okay, since there is no much response, 7 out of 10. Good, good. Nine. Nice. Nice. So I think it might have been, has improved your mood, your focus, your energy, or the behavior with your people today because you had good sleep, right? So now I would like everyone to close your eyes for a few seconds and just remember one morning when you woke up feeling really fresh and light. Remember one morning when you woke up really fresh and light. And now remember a morning when you woke up tired, even after sleeping. You know, you didn't sleep well, you're tired, you're drowsy, your mood is not good. Hmm? So there is a difference, right? When you wake up really fresh and light and when you wake up tired. So there is a difference which comes down to how we prepare our body and mind for rest, and that's what we call sleep hygiene. And in this workshop, we would be discussing the first 30 minutes what is sleep hygiene and how when you don't have a good sleep, how it affects the risks and the consequences of insufficient rest and the advantages of better sleep. And the last 30 minutes would be activities, basically, which would be a summary of the first 30 minutes and how you could incorporate a better sleep hygiene. So, what is sleep hygiene? So, when we hear the word hygiene, so basically we think about, right, brushing, bathing, keeping clean, right? So, sleep hygiene is something similar to that. Basically, it is cleaning up our habits around sleep. So, basically, think of it like brushing your mind before bed, basically clearing your thoughts, clearing your worries, and putting away the screens, your phone, so that your brain knows, yes, it's time to rest. So, sleep hygiene is basically similar to that. It is basically the habits, the environmental factors, and behavioral practices which are essential for having a good quality sleep. And thereby, when we have a good quality sleep, it actually leads to a better or a full daytime alertness. So here not it's not just about going to bed early. It's basically a holistic approach where we prioritize or optimize our sleep environment as well as a routine, where these routines help us to have a better sleep. So I would like to know what are some things you usually do before bed? What are some things you usually do before going to bed? It can be anything like journaling or you use your phone or scrolling or eating or reading. It can be anything. You can take your time and mention it in the chat box. Okay, so since there is no much responses, there might be some habits like when you might use your phones or you might scroll through your Insta or you might journal or you might read or you might stretch your body. So all these small routines either help our brain calm down or it keeps it buzzing. So sleep hygiene, basically, as I mentioned before, it helps us build habits that gently guide our body towards rest. So basically, it is like switching off lights one by one in a room. So what happens when we don't take care of our sleep? So let's say it's like running a machine, without ever turning it off. And when we does not turn it off, soon it start making noise and slowing down and breaking down. And that is where the vicious cycle comes in, where we are at this point, we are talking about the consequences of poor sleep hygiene. So, poor sleep basically affects us in three big ways. As it is mentioned, the first one is cognitive decline, and the second one is mood instability, and third is physical health risks. So, basically, what happens is in the cognitive decline, there will be difficulty concentrating, there would be impaired decision making, reduced productivity. So basically, our mind feels cloudy. And the second one is mood instability. I think when we don't have a good sleep, it is evident, right? Like our mood becomes unpredictable. Basically, we get irritated more easily. And there would be physical health risks. Basically, our body feels tired. Uh, there will be a weaker immunity, there will be low energy, and there are more aches in our body. And just, reflect yourself. Just think about the last time you were sleep deprived. How did you treat yourself on that day? Just think about it for a few seconds. When you are sleep deprived, where you didn't have a good quality sleep. When we don't have a good quality sleep, it affects. Basically, we get tired. We often lose patience because our brain hasn't got the time to reset. So now talking about the advantages. Before we talk about the consequences or the disadvantages, now we're talking about the advantages of good sleep. So like now imagine the opposite. What happens? We sleep well, right? So when we wake up, we feel clear-headed. Basically, it enhances our cognitive function. We can manage stress better, where it comes under emotional regulation, and our mood improves a lot. Even basically, our digestion also gets better. We also have stronger immune system, and even it good sleep is very good in our cardiovascular health. Basically, when we have a short sleep or a bad sleep, it is linked to higher risk of hypertension and heart diseases. And sleep also helps stabilize and integrate new memories. facilitates learning, and sleep regulates immune responses. And it also affects our hormones, let's say growth hormone or appetite hormone or cortisol. And it also helps us in our reproductive health, where it also influences the release of sex hormones. So basically, as I said before, it is a holistic approach. So since it is a holistic approach, it also affects our body holistically, where each part of the body is affected, whether you have a good sleep or not. So if you have a good sleep, there is a holisticness in that. So next we're talking about pillars of sleep hygiene. So so let's look at what helps good sleep. So there are environmental factors as well as routine factors. So when we talk about the environmental factors, as it implies, it talks about the environment around us. So it's basically things that we have heard before, like keep your room cool, dark and quiet, and make your bed comfortable. Your bed should be a place where you should sleep, not doing your work, not eating. The bed should be for sleeping, and it should be strict in that case. The bed is for sleeping, and you have to keep the gadgets away. Remove all electronic devices and work materials from the sleep space. And the next is routine factors. So routine factors is basically the daily habits that we implement. So, go to bed and wake up at the same time. So we should have a consistent sleep schedule. Even it should be on weekends. So let's say if you sleep at 11 p.m. and you are a person who sleeps at 11 p.m. and wakes up at 6 a.m., it should be implemented on weekends as well. And have a small ritual. Maybe before going to bed, let it be reading, let it be a gentle stretching, let it be journaling, let it be a meditation. While journaling, write down your thoughts and everything. And then limit exposure to bright light, especially blue light. So basically, it means avoid screens 30 minutes before bed. And there are some tips which I've recently read in an article. It's basically small tips which helps us sleep. So the sleep duration that was mentioned in the particular research paper was it should aim for 7 to 9 hours. And as I mentioned before, you should have a regular sleep wake schedule where it actually helps in a circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm is basically our internal body clock. And then you should have a bedtime routine and a pre-sleep ritual basically. So it is the activities uh, that helps the body towards sleep and physical activities, basically a regular sleep, which is not too close to bedtime, but it's something which helps your sleep quality. And you should have a control on the stimulants. Basically, stimulants are basically caffeine, nicotine, alcohol. It should be avoided and limit exposure management. So there should not be any devices or minimize exposure to strong light in evening. And yeah, so here we are talking about um, where you have to move your body, you know, where where exercise helps, but not too close to your bedtime. It's like uh, reviving the engine right before parking. And basically, watch what you drink. Caffeine and nicotine are like red lights for sleep. They tell your body to stay awake. So basically, don't use such substances before sleep and unplug all those devices. Try reading, breathing, or light stretching instead. So just reflect and think one habit that might be stealing your sleep. One thing that might be stealing. Just reflect back. You don't have to mention it in the chat box or anything. Just reflect. Anything that might be, stealing your sleep. So now, here we are focusing on where good sleep is basically built through small, consistent steps. Basically, it's like watering a plant every day. So let's say the first thing is the 30-minute rule. So if you can't sleep after 30 minutes, get out of the bed and do some activity, as I mentioned before, reading a book till you feel drowsy or till you feel tired. Instead of looking at a phone, just let's say read a book or do coloring. You can use mandala, something like that. And the next is consistency. As I mentioned, stick to your chosen bedtime and wake up time. 90% of the time, this helps to regulate our internal clock. And the next is, as I mentioned before, optimize your bed. Basically, reserve your bed exclusively for sleep and avoid working, watching TV, eating while in bed, as it strengthens the association between bed and rest. So, I would like to close your eyes for a second and picture your ideal bedtime. Okay? Basically, what would your room look like? Would it smell like something soothing, maybe lavender, or just fresh air? Or what are the small changes that you could make in your real room closer to that tonight? And what's that one small thing you could do tonight to make your sleep more calmer? So you could write it down in your notebook somewhere. Okay. So now we have learned that sleep isn't about closing your eyes. So it's about how we treat our mind as well as our body. So now, since we have talked about the effect, how it affects our sleep and what helps it, so let's take this awareness into short activity, something that helps us look within and notice our own sleep habits more closely. Because awareness is the first step to change. So here we'll be noticing our patterns and we will begin to care for them differently. So I would invite Tiasha to progress with the activity.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to everyone?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah.
Okay. So first, I would like to introduce myself. I am Tiasha, and now I am pursuing my master's in clinical psychology. So Ashlyn already gave you a very good introduction part about the sleep hygiene, what is sleep hygiene, how can we manage it, and everything about it. So now we will do interactive session, we can say it, or anything, um, or interactive activity, we can say it. So I would like to ask everyone to um, It's it's time for a little reflection and self work. We will do a short activity called My Sleep Audit and Reset Plans. This will take about 15 minutes and it's both reflective and practical. So, uh, I would like everyone can, if possible, then they can grab a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen, and I will guide you by step. So you take your time and just grab a paper or and a pen. Uh, can I start? Okay. Okay. So the first step, this is the name of the first step. We can do it. My sleep snapshot. and I will ask six questions. I will ask six quick questions, write short answers. I will pause about 30 seconds after each question. No need for long sentence, just jot the facts. Is it clear for everyone? Okay. Okay, so the first question is, what time do you usually go to bed and wake up? Just right. Done, everyone? Can we go to the next question? Can we move? Okay. So the second question is, how many hours do you actually sleep? How many hours do you actually sleep? Done. Can we move the next question? Okay. So, do you feel rested when you wake up? The third question is, do you feel rested when you wake up? Done? Okay, so then we can move to the next question. The fourth question is, what do you usually do in the hour before bed? What do you usually do in the hour or before 1 hour to going to sleep or before bed? Okay, so done. Okay, done everyone. Can we move to the next question? Okay. The fifth question is, do you use your phone or other screens before sleeping? Do you use your phone or other screens before sleeping? Okay. So the last question is, do you consume caffeine or heavy food in the evening? This is the second and the last question of this step one. Do you consume caffeine or heavy food in the evening? Okay, so I think everyone are done with this 6 questions. They can reflect their thoughts and their sleep patterns uh, a little bit now. Can I get some responses? Um, I guess everyone are done, so we can move to the step two. So the step two is identify sleep disruptors. So purpose of this step is move from facts to causes. Surface the three habits most likely harming sleep. Like which are the three habits can harm according to you harm your sleep. So now list three habits that might be disrupting your sleep. Be specific. Next to each habit, write why I continue it and one small change I can try. I uh, I will give you 5 minutes and you can do it. Can I repeat or is it clear for everyone? Like in the screen there is an example also. Okay, there is a chat between. Okay, thank you, uh, Rachana ma'am, to share your answers with us. So the second step is clear for everyone, or am I repeat once again?
Please repeat once.
Okay. So the second step is it's talking about identify sleep disruptors. Means which are the factors you think you like which are the factors or which are the habits you think that it disrupt your sleep. Like here you can see in the screen uh, examples like I scroll social media till late, so it can hamper our sleep. I drink coffee after dinner, it also can help hamper your sleep. So like this, what are uh, the factors or what are the habits you think that uh, it might be disrupt your sleep? So just add uh, list three habits that might be disrupt your sleep. It's only just be specific and for the each habit you have to write why I continue it and one small change I can try. Okay, is it clear now? Okay. So everyone are done. Can we move the next slide? The step 3 activity. Okay. Okay. So Ashlyn, yeah, thank you. So the step 3, it uh, the activity of this step is create your better sleep routine. The purpose of this step is build a small, specific, actionable plan for the next 7 days. Now, pick one realistic bedtime, and you can see here we give a example format like this. You have to make your own routine and just pick one realistic bedtime and one or two wind down actions you will do for the next 7 nights. Write the plan like a mini timetable. Like we can, you can see here is here we given one example, and for the so now you can write it. And is it okay, or I will explain it once? Okay. You can take your time and just make it. Done, everyone, or do you need some more time? So, can we move the next slide? Okay, Ashley, can you please move the next and step 4? Yeah. So, the step 4, it's commitment reflection. Uh, End with a short personal note. So, to end this activity, write one line beginning with, "This week I will take care of my sleep by," and then you can write what you want to write, and take 30 seconds to complete your sentence. And if you would like, you can share it in the chat box or just reflect silently. And so I would like everyone just write this. Uh, Here you can see in the screen, this portion only. "This week I will take care of my sleep by," and then you can write what you want. It's just a personal commitment and reflection. Is it clear to everyone? Okay. Thank you, Rachna ma'am, to share your thought. Um, this week, I will take care of my sleep by following the 5 days routine I have set for myself in the previous activity. Yeah, it's a very good reflection of yourself. And uh, so here the work, the activity is done. And okay, so now I would share that as we come to the end of our session, I hope you have realized that rest is not an indulgence, it's your body's form of healing. And good sleep strengthens your mind, emotions, and spirit. So, tonight, when you go to bed, treat it as an act of your self respect, not routine. So, is there any question or anything anyone wants to ask, or it's about the activities or the whole PPT or anything? Is there any question or
So I have a question.
yeah?
I've got my niece who really battles with sleep. Battles in a way that she does try to sleep, go to bed, but she of course can't avoid screen time. So she tends to sleep very late, and she will go on sleeping. She can go more than 12 hours of sleep, wake up, probably do a bit of either house, anything, something small, and then even after meals she would just want to sleep and sleep and sleep. So she really finds it very difficult to form a routine. She struggles to, and she has this mindset that she finds a lot of peace in sleep. And also there's a bit of laziness she carries in her. So how could somebody like that come out? She knows everything that you've shared on the PPT about the issues of how screen time is harmful, how meals affect, but it's kind of stuck with her.
Mm, okay, thank you for your question. So, first, I would like to ask that is there anything or is there any problem she's facing um,
So
in
she,
her
for
life?
her, yeah. So the thing is, she's battling OCD,
Hmm.
and she is on some kind of medication which is helping her with that. But for her now, despite any medication or any help that we give her, there's a very she finds a lot of sweetness in sleeping. She finds so much sweetness, despite even her everything is fine right now, life is smooth for her, she's not battling anything else. But now what happens, these small things become a battle, like sleep. She finds peace, but she's battling at the same
Like
time.
whole day she just want to sleep.
If she
Am I
gets a
right?
chance, she would love
Yeah,
sleeping. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So you can once you can talk to her doctor. Also, it uh, if she is in medication, so then there is some effect or there is some side effect of the medication which can causes the sleep. But if there is no medication, so then you can once you can talk to the doctor, or once you can talk to some therapist or anyone, that is there anything other problem like when she faced something OCD or like this. So you once you can talk about this problem to the therapist will, or the psychiatrist, and then just see what they can say. Hmm?
Sure, sure, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for your question. And is there any other question? Thank you, Veena, for your reflection about the session. And okay,
Yeah,
so
I would also like to thank all the participants, and
yeah,
we hope that this session has helped you in a small way. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening.
thank you so much for joining, and thank you for your time and energy. The session is over. I can we should leave now. Thank you, Sham.